passed out from the heat, or that a fake skincare ad turned into one of the creepiest marketing stunts of the 2000s. From grueling stunts and lost characters to game-accurate costumes and insane miniature explosions, these are 20 weird and crazy facts about Resident Evil Apocalypse. Let's dive into the chaos of Raccoon City and see just how wild things got behind the scenes. Fact 1. The Nemesis suit nearly broke the man inside. The towering, unstoppable Nemesis wasn't a CGI monster. It was a man trapped inside 60 pounds of rubber, latex, and sweat. Actor Matthew G. Taylor trained like an athlete to survive in that monstrous costume, which was so heavy and hot he could only wear it for 15 minutes at a time. Between takes, he was drenched, barely able to breathe, and crew members had to use fans and ice packs to keep him from overheating. The visibility was almost zero, and his movements had to be slow and deliberate, not for effect, but because he physically couldn't be fast. Yet Taylor insisted on doing his own scenes, even the gunfire and explosions, because he wanted Nemesis to feel like a real creature of muscle and menace. When you see him stalking through Raccoon City, that's not CGI magic. That's one man enduring real pain to bring a nightmare to life. Fact 2. Claire Redfield was supposed to be the lead. Before Jill Valentine ever walked into that police station, the movie was meant to feature Claire Redfield. Early drafts of the script positioned her as the central heroine, and Gina Phillips, best known from Jeepers Creepers, was in line to play her. The story was going to mirror the Resident Evil 2 and Code Veronica games more closely, but when production began, the creative team decided to lean into Resident Evil 3 instead. That meant introducing Jill, the no-nonsense cop from Raccoon City. Sienna Guillory was cast, and she went all in, studying Jill's mannerisms, watching gameplay clips, even copying the exact holster layout from the game. Fans were divided at first, but her portrayal became iconic. Claire would eventually show up in Resident Evil Extinction, but Apocalypse remains the film where Jill stole her spotlight. Fact 3. The director appears as a sniper. Alexander Witt, who made his directorial debut with Apocalypse, wasn't content to stay behind the camera. During the chaotic final act, when a helicopter sniper opens fire on Carlos and his team, that's actually Witt himself behind the scope. Known previously as a second-unit director on blockbusters like Gladiator and Pirates of the Caribbean, Witt took the opportunity to literally step into his own movie. His cameo is quick, but it's a subtle nod to his action movie roots. It also shows how hands-on he was during production, not just directing stunts, but sometimes joining them. For a first-time director, jumping into the action alongside your actors takes guts, and maybe a little umbrella-sized madness. Fact 4. Raccoon City was actually in Toronto. If you've ever thought Raccoon City looked a little too clean for a zombie apocalypse, that's because it was really Toronto, dressed up to look like urban decay. Filmmakers shut down entire city blocks, including the Prince Edward Viaduct and parts of downtown, transforming them into a war zone. City Hall doubled as umbrella headquarters, and residents were stunned to see tanks, fake explosions, and smoke clouds rolling through their streets. At the time, it was one of the largest urban film shoots ever approved in Canada. The production ran mostly at night, which gave the crew only a few short hours to make chaos look cinematic before traffic returned at sunrise. Toronto may never have been eaten alive by zombies, but for a few weeks in 2003, it came eerily close. Fact 5. A massive miniature city hall was built and destroyed. When the script called for Raccoon City Hall to blow sky high, the filmmakers didn't use CGI. They built a giant 43-foot-wide miniature replica with over 1,600 glass windows, each wired with miniature explosives. The crew spent weeks constructing the model, layering in concrete texture and working lights. When the cameras rolled, they captured the explosion at high frame rates, just once, because there was no filming. The resulting footage looks so real because it is. Every window shattering, every wall crumbling, every beam of smoke was filmed.